Bryan Kohberger set for another hearing February 28th. What can we expect at Bryan Kohberger's February 28th hearing? Fuel me once here, driving instructor of the world. So this was a motion that prompted the hearing that'll occur Wednesday, February 28th. It's a change of venue form. Ann Taylor, for Bryan Kohberger, asked that the court changes the place where Bryan Kohberger's hearing will occur. Now, a change of venue is usually granted for one of three reasons. The court case was filed in the wrong location, the geography is inconvenient for either the witnesses or the defendant, and third, and this is the case here, the claim that the defendant cannot get a fair trial in the current location. And you can read in this document why Ann Taylor says they cannot get a fair trial here, which is Latah County, Moscow, Idaho. She says there's inflammatory pretrial publicity, allegations made about Mr. Kohberger to the public by the media that will be inadmissible at his trial, the small size of the community, the salacious nature of the alleged crimes, and the severity of the charges. Which one of those is preventing Bryan Kohberger from getting a fair trial where he is? Technically, none of them. The media argument is invalid because it's going to take place no matter where the trial occurs. Same with the extensive inflammatory pretrial publicity, the salacious nature of the alleged crime, the severity of the charges. None of those work or apply in this case for a reason to move it. Maybe they just like to move it. The small size of the community, however, they might have an argument here. She says later, the size of the community and their interconnectedness of its citizenry is problematic and will prevent a fair and impartial pool of potential jurors. She argues that just enlarging the jury pool, in other words, trying to get jury members from outside Latah County, isn't going to work because there's not a large enough population for that. In other words, there's going to be a ton of bias, according to her, no matter where we go in all of Latah County or immediately outside its vicinity. But remember, previously, Ann had made an argument, as did the prosecution, that the average person in the jury pool was going to be a farmer, someone rural. That's kind of a detriment to the argument they're going to have here tomorrow. But we'll have to see. The judge is also likely going to set the date for the case, whether that's this summer, 2024, or summer 2025. The prosecution and defense have both maintained that summer will be a better time for the trial, June through August, because students won't be there. Therefore, it won't have as big of an impact on the community. Without students, not as big of an impact. That's going to be a hard one to argue as well. This trial is going to have a major impact whether the students are there or not. The media and the frenzy of people coming for the trial might have an easier time of getting hotels or whatever, places to stay. You could argue in the summer, except that students don't take up those places of residency. So once the judge locks down the date, however, there's still going to be activity. It's not like there's going to be silence. Remember in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, there were thousands of pages of motions filed, lists of witnesses that have to be excluded, they'll argue, evidence that can be brought in, evidence that cannot be brought in. There will be so many motions filed, including the actual date that all evidence has to be turned in from both sides. So it's going to be a very interesting court date. That is Wednesday, February 28th. On the road of life, please drive kind. Thank you.